my favorite deputies.
Hello there. It's so nice to see all you new toys. From up here, you look like you're all from the same playset.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie and welcome to my channel House of Paper Doll. Welcome to my first Disney video on my playlist where I'm going to be sharing lots of reviews, experiences, tips and advice all on helping to make your planning to Walt Disney World a lot easier. So this video is all about early morning magic at Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios, Walt Disney World. I'm going to be sharing with you what we did, who we met and just how timescale wise things worked out for us and any advice or tips I would pass on to you if you are thinking of booking early morning magic at Toy Story Land, or you already have booked early morning magic at Toy Story Land and you're just wondering what's the best way to maximize your time there. So just to give a quick overview, early morning magic, if you are not familiar with it, is very different to extra magic hours, which if you are a regular visitor at Disney, especially Disney resorts, then you may be familiar with extra magic hours. So extra magic hours comes via a perk of staying at one of the Walt Disney World resorts. So there is currently, I think, over 25 Walt Disney World resorts now, which is a lot. Most days one of the parks will either open an hour early or stay open an hour or two later depending on the holiday season for Walt Disney World resort guests only. This means that you are able to ride the rides with a lot less queue. This is all included in your Disney room price. There's nothing extra to pay and it's basically up to you whether you decide to take advantage of this or not. Now early morning magic works slightly differently. This is open to anybody, anyone can book this. You do not need to be staying at one of the Walt Disney World resorts to qualify to book this. It does however come at an additional charge and there are only a limited number of places. I think I've read that it's roughly about 500 people, 200, 400, 500 I've heard. I don't think there was 500 the day that we did it. That's what I've heard is the cap, so don't quote me on that, just in case. Currently, early morning magic is available at 2 of the Walt Disney World parks, Magic Kingdom, and that will give you the area of Fantasyland, and Hollywood Studios, which gives you the area of Toy Story Land. Early morning magic also includes breakfast. So for Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios, you are able to get into the parks. It says from about 7:30 up until 10 a.m. Realistically, it's not quite that. I think the gates do open at 7, so you are allowed into Hollywood Studios at 7. It seems Toy Story Land does seem to open about 20 past 7, and then you are able to ride the rides until park opening. Once the park opens, you definitely want to start heading out of Toy Story Land. We were quite amazed by the sea of people walking in, which I'm going to cover it just now. So realistically, you have Toy Story Land from about 7:20 up until park opening, which most mornings is about 8:45 to 9 a.m. During that time, you will have access to the 3 rides that are in Toy Story Land, which is the Slinky Dog Dash, which is probably the main draw for a lot of people and one of the hardest fast passes to get at the moment. Also, you've got Alien Swirling Saucers and Toy Story Mania. Plus, there is meet and greets available with Buzz and Woody and Jessie. Woody and Jessie meet together, Buzz meets by himself. Normally, these rides and meet and greets all have roughly about an hour's wait. Slinky Dog Dash often more, 1 to 2, I've seen it past 2-hour waits. Also, the 3 Toy Story Land rides are currently in the Tier 1 Fast Pass category of Hollywood Studios, which means you can only book 1 Fast Pass for a ride in Tier 1, so there's no way that you could book fast passes for all 3 of the Toy Story Land rides currently. Now this may all change of course with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is now opening I think on August the 29th. Currently you can book early morning magic for Toy Story Land up until Wednesday the 28th of August, and then Galaxy's Edge opens on Thursday the 29th of August. Whether early morning magic for Toy Story Land will continue once Galaxy's Edge opens, I don't know. I've read online that it possibly won't. I've heard that it might not for a bit but then might come back. I've heard that they might tweak it, so I don't know, but if you are planning to go to Disney from between now and Galaxy's Edge opening, then certainly it is available to book now if there are any spaces available. So when and how to book? You can book Early Morning Magic either by calling Disney on their telephone number, I'm going to put it on here right now, or like I always prefer to do because we live outside the US, is to just book online. Walt Disney World, go through, have a look at the dates. It doesn't seem to be any set rule of when dates get released. I think we booked ours in about October. Our Toy Story Land date was March, beginning of March. They did seem to release them in bulk. So if your date isn't available yet, just keep a lookout just to see if it does become available soon. It's just a case of keep checking back. You'll start to see a bit of a pattern. It's not one of those events that seems to book out overnight. It's not like trying to get a reservation for Be Our Guest where you have to book it 180 days in advance, or trying to get Slinky Dog Dash Fast Pass or Flights of Passage Fast Pass, which you definitely have to try and book at your 60-day or 30-day window. With Early Morning Magic, there does seem to be a little less demand for it. However, saying that, once a date is booked up, and they do seem to get booked up, then it's just a case of checking back to see if there's any cancellations. Currently for Magic Kingdom, Early Morning Magic seems to be available on Sundays and Tuesdays, and for Hollywood Studios Toy Story Land, it seems to be Mondays and Wednesday mornings. We did Wednesday morning. There are some Fridays that do become available, but that seems to be more sort of peak holiday times. It is always subject to change, so as long as you have your valid ticket for the park, anyone is available to book. You just book this as an additional event or an additional ticket, and you pay in full at the time of booking. There is a cancellation policy which will be on the Disney website. So the cost is currently $79 per adult and $69 per child. Disney classes an adult as anyone aged 10 and over. So children are only if you are 9 years and under. So it does add up. If you are a family of 4 or you're a large party, then it certainly does add up. So just to give you a little rundown of our experience of Early Morning Magic. So we were staying at Disney's Art of Animation. I think I got up at like 5:30 and got the kids up at like 6, and we decided to use Disney's transportation to take us to Hollywood Studios, which is where our morning didn't have the best of starts. We were at the bus stop at Art of Animation waiting for the Hollywood Studios bus for about 6:20 a.m, which is pretty early in the morning. We waited and waited and waited for a bus, and a bus didn't come for about 40 minutes. I had hoped that we would be in Hollywood Studios through security and have checked in for Early Morning Magic so we could grab a coffee around about just after 7 o'clock. But our bus didn't come until 7 o'clock. It was pretty annoying standing there at that time in the morning, especially when you got up so early for it, and especially watching 3 empty Magic Kingdom buses come to the resort and then leave. Also, like 2 Epcot buses came and went in that time. It wasn't the best of starts, but we set off from Art of Animation about 7ish, arrived into Hollywood Studios. By the time we'd sort of walked to the security, gone through security, checked in, it was probably about 20 past 7ish, maybe a bit later. So if you're doing this event, you can actually enter the park from 7. You'll just go through, they'll scan your magic band if you have one, or if you just have a ticket for the day. After you've gone through security and entered the park, you will then be sort of ushered over to one side where you can check in for Early Morning Magic. Ours was to the left of the entrance, and there was a couple of people, a couple of cast members there with iPads, and they just checked you in, name, and then they put on a wristband which said Early Morning Magic on it. From there you were then ushered down, I think it's Hollywood Boulevard or the main street, pointed in the direction of Toy Story Land, and you just sort of walked through a pretty empty park. There were plenty of staff dotted around to kind of point you in the direction of Toy Story Land. It was really nice, I have to say, just to kind of take in the park when it's so empty. There's so much that you don't notice when it's so busy. So it was nice just to kind of feel like you had the park to yourself at that point. None of us in our family had been to Toy Story Land before, so this was first time for all of us. And I have to say, as we turned the corner and saw Toy Story Land, we were all so excited. You could also hear lots of people around, wow, wing over the theming. The theming for Toy Story Land, I have to say, I think is one of the best in any of the parks. It's incredible. The attention to detail is amazing. It's all themed around Andy's backyard, and you're apparently supposed to have been shrunken down to the size of a toy. First thing we noticed as we walked into Toy Story Land was that Slinky Dog Dash was up and running. By this point, I think it was about 7:30. If you had managed to get there for 7, which we weren't able to do thanks to Disney, then you can definitely be riding Slinky Dog Dash by just after 7:20. I had read that Woody and Jessie came out about 7:25 to 8. Sort of consciously we held back a little bit, but at the same time we were sort of trying to take in Toy Story Land and just absorb it and try to decide whether we were going to go on Slinky Dog Dash first. And as we turned around, we saw Woody and Jessie coming towards pretty much where we were stood. We were one of the first lot to do the meet and greet that morning, which I would highly recommend. And this is like a big tip: if you are wanting to meet Woody and Jessie, try and meet them as they come out, because after we met them, the line just grew and grew and grew as Early Morning Magic went on, and towards the end the queue was actually into the exit for Toy Story Mania. It was like that long. You only have a limited time during Early Morning Magic. Woody and Jessie, the only place you can meet them is at Toy Story Land. Definitely recommend that you try and get them as they come out. 7:25 to 8. They have a designated area which is just near Toy Story Mania ride and kind of opposite where you would start to head in towards the Slinky Dog Dash entrance. If you're wanting to meet Buzz, then he actually met right at the entrance of Toy Story Land during Early Morning Magic. I have to say the wait for Buzz didn't seem to get very long during the whole time. So if you're wanting to meet Buzz, I would say you could probably fit that around your plans, but when you have a bit of time, then you get to go back to meet Buzz. Also, you're kind of going to be in Toy Story Land, and to meet Buzz you then have to like walk out of Toy Story Land to meet him. It's literally by the big Woody Toy Story Land sign that you see as you walk in. You can't miss it, and he's just opposite that. So in terms of rides, we went on Slinky Dog Dash first. It seems to be the one that everyone heads to, so if you're trying to maximize your time, you may want to head on Toy Story Mania first or the Alien Swirling Saucers, because they definitely seem to have the shortest queue right at the very beginning. It seems like as soon as everyone gets in, they head for Slinky Dog Dash. We did head for Slinky Dog Dash, and I think our wait time at that point was about 10 minutes, which, I mean, compared to people queuing a couple of hours through the day, is nothing, but still you've got to factor in these 10 minutes can add up when you've really only got about 70 minutes, 80 minutes of your time in Toy Story Land. But Slinky Dog Dash was definitely a must. We loved it. It was our oldest to 7 favorite rider of all the Disney rides. And just to put it in context, she managed to go on Slinky Dog Dash about 3 times during Early Morning Magic. Could have gone on quite easily another 2, maybe even 3 times if she'd have wanted. Once the park opened, within 10 minutes, Slinky Dog Dash was already at 1.5 to 2 hour queue, which is like insane. So by like 9:10, the line for Slinky Dog Dash was almost 2 hours. That's definitely where the big advantage of doing Early Morning Magic is. After Slinky Dog Dash, we went on Alien Swirling Saucers. That was pretty much a walk-on. We just waited for next one to become available. They had both sides going. I've heard some mornings they only have one side going, some mornings they have both sides. Our morning they had both sides going, so literally it was walk-on. After that we headed to Toy Story Mania, which is where then we saw the queue that was growing and growing for meeting Woody and Jessie. Went on Toy Story Mania. We actually went on that twice. Again, walk on. And by that time, I think it was about 8:30. We then went over to meet Buzz, just so then that we knew that we'd done everything in Toy Story Land. I think there was only about a 5-minute wait for Buzz, which was next to nothing. After that, we said to the kids whatever they wanted to go on again, they could. We went back on Toy Story Mania again, and then our oldest went on Slinky Dog Dash. So she went on once with my husband and once with me. Like I said, we could have gone on again 2 more times before park opened, but at that point we were starting to get hungry, and we were kind of like, okay, kind of like we feel like we've accomplished Toy Story Land now. So we sat down just in the shade just to rest our feet at Woody's lunchbox, and that's when we realized that the park was opening, and we just saw this swarm of people just migrating into Toy Story Land. It was quite a sight. There was cast members walking the midst. They were all sort of behind a wall of cast members. They all directed them off to Slinky Dog Dash, and that's when I said by 5-10 minutes later the queue is at 2 hours, which is insane when you think we've just managed to do all of that in just over an hour. So within Toy Story Land, the counter service restaurant, which is called Woody's Lunchbox, is actually closed during early morning magic. There was a little stall that was right next to it with free waters and free coffees. So if you wanted to grab a coffee whilst you were in Toy Story Land, you could, or you could just grab some water as you're going from like ride to ride. For the actual breakfast, which is included in the early morning magic, that was served over at Batlock Express the day that we were there, which I would say is almost a 10-minute walk really, especially with little ones. It's about a 10-minute walk across the park. It's right over where Indiana Jones ride is, almost heading towards where the Muppets is. We headed over there as park opened and all this swarm of people were coming into Toy Story Land. It made us pretty relieved that we'd kind of accomplished Toy Story Land at that point, and we were ready for food. So we sort of let the masses come in, then we sort of went against the queues and walked out of Toy Story Land over to Batlock Express. So the food on offer is Mexican corn chilaquiles and egg bowl. There's also shrimp and southern grits bowl, fried chicken and cinnamon sugar French donut bowl, smashed avocado and egg plates, and a breakfast platter, which is what I had. That includes smoked salmon, there was some chopped hard-boiled egg on there was some sausage, some cured salami and crostinis. The children's menu is either French chicken and cinnamon sugar French donut or scrambled eggs and sweet potato barrels bowl. It was really yummy, I have to say, but it was also, we have really small appetites and we really struggle with American portions. So much so, my husband actually ordered a child's menu when we went for breakfast. You get one entree included, plus the buffet. The kids had the scrambled eggs one and my husband opted for that one too. So he had a kids menu, but they were fine with that. They actually gave 2 kids meals, so we ended up with loads of scrambled eggs and sweet potato. Now we struggled to even eat those portions, so for us going for the buffet, we were just stuffed by that point. But if you've got a better appetite than we have, that on the buffet there is cereals, there's pastries, there's yogurt. There's also an area where you can just go and refill your own drinks. So there's teas, coffees, juices, waters. So there's plenty of food available. So overall, did we feel that early morning magic at Toy Story Land was worth it? Absolutely yes. Like for us, when we decided to book our Walt Disney World holiday, Toy Story Land was definitely like up here and one of our must-do things. Even though when you go to Disney, and Disney equals a lot of queuing, thought of only being able to get one fast pass for one of the rides in Toy Story Land and having to queue so long for the other 2 rides, plus having to queue a lot for Woody and Jessie, which through the day their meet and greets can be well over an hour's queue as well. It was just a little bit like we knew we had to do it because we knew the kids really excited about Toy Story Land. So for me, if there was a way in which we could eliminate those queues and being able to do everything, see and do everything in Toy Story Land in one go, then definitely for us it was well worth it. I have to say as well, we found that our morning doing early morning magic at Toy Story Land was one of our favorite mornings of our whole trip. I think because you were able to just walk around Toy Story Land with hardly any people around. It felt like you had a lot of it to yourself. We were able to walk on some of the rides without having to queue at all. I know when my daughter went back on Slinky Dog Dash with my husband and myself, it was less than a 5-minute queue with my husband and we pretty much just walked on it at that point. So definitely as the morning goes on, the queue for Slinky Dog Dash definitely depletes to the point of just walking on. You could come off and then pretty much walk back on again if you wanted to. Another big plus for us was freeing up a fast pass because we were then able to use that on another attraction in the park. I feel like we also got to see and do a lot more of Hollywood Studios because by 10 o'clock we'd had breakfast, we'd done all of Toy Story Land and we were ready to sort of join the rest of the masses at the Hollywood Studios, but Toy Story Land was all done and dusted. And that's a big area at the moment of Hollywood Studios. I know it's going to be very different once Star Wars Land opens, but it made sort of doing a lot of the other attractions a lot easier. It also felt a lot less stressful, it was a lot less hectic, and there was a lot more kind of a relaxed, slower pace during early morning magic. And I know it may not be for everyone, and I know the early morning magic at Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom certainly offers more rides and actually more characters. But for us, especially with Toy Story Land being so popular and in our family being like one of the favorites, then for us it was absolutely worth the money. In fact, if this was offered again next time we went, I wouldn't hesitate to book it, and I would definitely consider doing the other early morning magic, just because it allows you to get so much done so early. I know a lot of people as well, they did early morning magic at Hollywood Studios and then they hopped to one of the other parks and were able to use all their fast passes at the other parks. If your time is limited and you are only able to do say half day in one park and half day in another, I would definitely recommend doing early morning magic, because that way then it frees up so much more of your time. So for me personally, if budget allows or you are on a time limit, then I would definitely recommend doing early morning magic. But for us, it was one of the best things that we did, and I personally actually preferred paying the money for early morning magic over maybe doing some of the character meals. So if you're trying to weigh up the two, we personally felt that we got more value for money with early morning magic than maybe some of the character meals. So just putting that out there, I know not everyone will agree with that. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to reply. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first Disney video, and I will see you soon on my next one. Bye!